Good rising, family. Good seeing everyone. Peace and blessings to everyone here. Good seeing everyone. Good seeing you, 12. Shalom, Ancient Garden. Great seeing you. Thank you to the moderators. Good seeing you, Cassandra, Sister Cassandra. Hopefully not buffering already. As they said, if something happens where I get kicked out, I'm just going to go ahead and start another live. So just go straight to the next live, okay? I switched up and went to a new spot. You know, there should be a lot of some good connection here. But if something happens where we get kicked out, I'll just start another live. You guys just go straight to the next live. If we gotta do 2 or 3 lives to get information out, then that's what we'll do. So we give people a chance to kind of come in and find the live and get notified and come on in. But like I said, if there's an issue with the live, we'll just start another one and just go straight to the next one. I'm glad you were able to locate the live, because we understand what's going on right now. You know, we understand what's going on. But we're gonna concentrate on what we can control. We're gonna concentrate on growing. You know, we're gonna concentrate on learning and growing. We can easily see the 2 realities that are going on right now. And then you can see the people who are still wanting to be stuck in the alternate reality. Wanting to be stuck, or the Most High is leaving them there. Naomi, I haven't seen that one yet. You know, if you're looking at the news, you know, and you're seeing the events that are playing out, but you can easily see that a lot of it is just to keep themselves relevant. A lot of the things, the events that are going on right now are just to keep themselves relevant. The Most High has exposed them and exposed the fact that, you know, we've been telling them for years that the scriptures are ours. You know, the Bible's ours. The other scriptures that you guys have been hiding, those are ours. You know, and they've been just been able to ignore, you know, what we're saying, things like that. But now it's just, it's just to the point where, it's just so evident that they have absolutely no understanding whatsoever. They have no understanding about, you know, what's really going on. You know, they don't have any understanding as far as what's going on as far as scripture and end days events and end times events. It's always the same things over and over again. You know, everything is the same things over and over again. I was listening to Paul, and, you know, he's talking about Israel, and all of a sudden, you know, they're under attack. You know, they got 100 rockets, you know, being shot at them. I'm like, okay, well, let me know when someone gets injured. Let me know when someone dies. Let me, because I mean, like, more people die on the freeway going back and forth to work here, in Southern California, than what the damage these missiles must be causing. But they're always trying to make it seem as if, whenever something happens with them, that's the fulfillment of prophecy. They're not talking about revelation. They're talking about the horses, the 4 horsemen, and they've been released, but they never talk about the fact that their history, the things that they've done, was actually the fulfillment of a lot of those prophecies. It's the same things over and over again. They're talking about China and the blockade going on with Taiwan, and the War III about to start and everything else. I'm like, let me know when you guys really start to do something. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, or we're going to shoot a couple of rockets over the island, and, that'll show them. Like I said, that stuff is old. Let us know when you're really about to do something. But you got to do things to make it seem as if somehow your events are fulfilling prophecy. And they're not. These events have nothing to do with prophecy. I said, you guys talk about revelation and being about a revealing. What are you revealing? What is being revealed in 100 rockets being shot at Israel, supposedly? What is being revealed when, supposedly China's encircling the island of Taiwan? What is being revealed? What was lost that's now being exposed? Nothing. You guys, hello, you guys had a war going on between Ukraine and Russia, and all of a sudden now it's barely even in the news. So what exactly are the Gentiles revealing at this time? And that's pretty much it. Distractions from the plagues. Distractions from the plagues. That's all that it is. There are plagues and there were curses that were put on our people. You have set up an alternate reality to be able to try to ignore, those plagues that were put on us, those curses that were put on us. Now that the Most High has started, has taken the plagues away, taken the curses off of us, and He's given us back our traditions and our heritage, and we're chasing after the Most High. Now you need to do something to try to keep the people listening to you, and and making it seem as if somehow you're relevant. Your breakdowns are relevant, and they're not. But as you can see, the Father is raising up different individuals within the nation to bring different understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like to bring different understanding. That's going on right now. The book I want to get into for a little bit was shared with me by Mimsa Yasserel, and the book just got here today. We'll talk a little bit about this one right here. God's Amazing Star Secrets. Thank you so much for sharing this with the nation. God's Amazing Star Secrets. See, the other nations for so long have just taken all this information and vilified it. Vilified all this information. They've been able to do that because we were going through our curses. We were going, through our curses where the Most High said He was going to take away our heritage. And that's exactly what He's been doing. And so you understand that there's two alternate realities. There's two realities going on right now. Okay? And when you you learn how to think of things on an esoteric level. There's esoteric and exoteric. When you understand that, that's even told to us in the Apocrypha. In 2nd Esdras 14. I'm going to read a little bit about it, but you can see, there's letting you know that there is going to be esoteric understanding and exoteric understanding. And that the Most High is going to raise up individuals here at the end to be able to lead the nation into these different areas. Because it's too much for any one person. So the Most High has given us, he's given us a lot of understanding. And the things that we have to understand is that even, like I said, even in the books that we're getting, we got to understand that there's also going to be information that, you might not be ready for, you might not agree with. There's certain things in these books that I don't necessarily agree with. But that's between me, and I said maybe I need a little more time to understand it, to internalize it. I said, but maybe someone else reads it and gets something else out of it. But we have to understand, like I said, that there's a lot going on right here. You can't just read this information and think that you're just going to read it once and then you're going to get it all under. That's not how this is going to work. Okay? 2nd Esdras 14, real quick. We'll start at 44. In 40 days they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, that the Highest spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and the unworthy may read it. Like I said, that right there shows you that that is the exoteric understanding that everyone's going to be able to get exposed to. Everyone's going to be able to get exposed to the exoteric understanding. And with that exoteric understanding is what the Gentiles have run with. They've run with the exoteric understanding, and they have given you that, and they're trying to give you their breakdowns of all this exoteric understanding, and their way that they're breaking it down to them is the only way that it can be broken down. Then it's the only way that it can be broken down. But see, now the Most High has done a new thing. He's raised up his people once again. And you continue here with 46. But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and a stream of knowledge. And I did so. So right there shows you esoteric or exoteric understanding and esoteric understanding. That right there is, like I said, that's why so many people, I've asked for years. All these people keep saying, don't read this, don't read that. I said, okay, well, break down 2nd Esdras 14. And they never do. Because in order for them to do that, they're going to have to acknowledge that there is exoteric understanding and there's esoteric understanding. There's exoteric understanding that's been given to everyone. And that's what the vast majority of the world thinks explains everything. They think that they can explain everything that's happening through exoteric understanding or knowledge. Not knowing that in order to get a much deeper understanding, you're going to have to delve into the esoteric. And if you're not willing to do so, or you're not called to do so, then you're going to be stuck, in a certain level. And that's it. So when you're seeing like a lot of these Gentile stations, most of them are all just, most of them, pretty much all of them are talking about, the vast majority of them, 99% of them, are concentrating on exoteric information only. If you're talking 66 books only, maybe the 80, maybe saying there's only a couple other books I'm going to do, that's going to be pretty much exoteric. That's going to be a very limited view, okay, of information. Because the Most High says, but keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and a stream of knowledge. So therefore, the ones who are stuck in exoteric only, they can't prove it wrong. They can't prove the understanding wrong because they were never given it in the first place. So what they're going to do is attempt to demonize the information and they're going to attempt to demonize the individuals that are actually going into that information. You see what I'm saying? So now we understand like why the people have demonized the information about the stars. I mean, this is in second interest. If people say they believe in the Apocrypha, well, you explain then. Second interest 14, 44 through 48. They're letting you know that there's going to be other books. There's going to be other understanding. So if people who are, are fighting it or whatever else, most of them are part of the whole priesthood of Mahan anyways. And they're doing their job. And their job is to keep everyone on the exoteric, level pretty much. And that's all they're going to do. Okay? So that's second interest 14. Now, something I want to read, okay? Yes, religion is definitely the ultimate dumbing down. We know that, right? We're going to read a little bit from Irish Wisdom, okay? And when you understand, like I said, when you understand the whole exoteric thing, understanding and esoteric, you understand when you start reading these other books, you can see how the church has been, has had their hand and just hiding all this information. We're going to read a little bit of chapter 5. The Bible, an Irish book, altered and adapted by British Roman transcribers. Okay? Although our Christian peoples and the more advanced countries of today have denounced Jewish pogroms and deliberately planned murders of Jewish people in some of the countries of Eastern Europe during the World War, what can they think of the wholesale deportations and murders and suffering inflicted upon the people of what is now called Syria, when they know that the Roman Church put her plan in operation to charge them with having crucified the ideal Savior, Jesus, the Sun God, and scattered them broadcast over the world. Now that's what they've done to our people, okay? By dispersing those people, she cleared the way for the renaming of places in Judea to make it appear that such a man as Jesus had lived there. That those various places said to have been the scenes, okay, of his life and travels were actually real places and in existence on the map with those names. It is something awful to contemplate, but the Roman Church did this thing, and the people whom she punished thus and who bear the undeserved stigma to this day by crucifying the Savior are as innocent as such a deed as the child of unborn. The Roman fathers employed most ingenious methods to establish the authenticity of Jesus. Okay, hold on, I'll let you guys see this. Let's see right here, chapter 5. You guys can see that. Okay. Just showing you how sinister their plan is and has been. It's like making up their Caesarea Borgia. All the things that they're trying to set up so they can continue with their exoteric understanding only and making it seem as if that's all that there is, okay? Let's continue now, page 66. To that end, they had stories written of purporting to be by certain men, some of whom denied his godlike powers, while there were other witnesses who declared that he worked wonders. Her scribes also wrote up accounts of those who were supposed to be his companions, but written in such a way that their stories would not agree in every minute detail, but near enough so that it would not appear that one account was a copy of the other. It must be a witness giving a different and distinctly individual narration of the facts as seen by himself. These trained fabricators considered that no two or more persons would write the facts regarding an event in real life in just the same identical words. So it was thought best to have a little variation inserted in the accounts, okay, as given by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, so that it is how we find it arranged in those 4 books by the Roman doctors. If Luke tells of an event in one way, John tells it a little differently. And so with Matthew and Mark. Luke records that the miraculous draught of fishes was made at the beginning of the ministry of Jesus. John says that it did not happen until after he had risen from the dead. John, like I said, that's going to be John 21:2. John says that although the number of fish was great, the net was not broken. And Luke says that their net did break. Matthew says that Jesus told the 12 apostles to go and preach and commanded them to provide neither gold nor silver nor brass in your purses, nor scrip for your journey, neither 2 coats, neither shoes, nor yet staffs. Mark is made to mention the same incident, just a little bit different, okay? And with a slight contradiction of his infallible brother scribe. He says that Jesus commanded them to take nothing for their journey save a staff only. Like inconsistencies, which are so many in these 4 Gospels, stamp them in counterfeit books. In fact, the very names of the authors to whom these books are ascribed are forgeries and misleading. They were intended to be, for it was claimed that they were Hebrew, while the plain truth is that they were taken entire from the ideals of the Irish Gospels, with the nomenclature slightly changed in order to escape detection. So these are a lot of your, this is going to be a lot of your exoteric information that they're going to put in these stories right here, okay? So you will just concentrate on the exoteric understanding, and then you won't spend any time searching out for anything esoteric on an esoteric level. You can pause it and check it out. But then you said he'll give it to you this way, and then you'll take this all as just the gospel truth. It hasn't been, manipulated. This is all that there is. But just letting you know that the Roman church did a lot of this stuff on purpose. They got these books, they set them up this way, and then they dispersed them to everyone. Just like I said it was going to do in 2 Esdras 14, 44 through 48. So here's a lot of that exoteric understanding. You got a lot of people who are, going through and acting as if all of this stuff that they're giving you is the gospel truth, and that they wouldn't lie about anything. But when you start just doing a little bit of research, you start to see that, like Matthew, the names those aren't their names. That's not, that's not who they were. That's not what they were called. That's not what they were called. But see, they don't allow us to even question anything that they say. That's the word of God. That's it. That's all that there is. Why would you think that they would do it? They're hiding information. They hiding the fact that there's way more information than they've been willing to show. The Most High already told you that there's going to be certain books that are going to be given to everyone, and then at the end he was going to give us the deeper understanding. And they have pretty much just raised up, the books that they want to say the exoteric understanding, because that's given to everyone. They want to raise that information up. because that's the only information that they can control. They can't control the new information because it has nothing to do with them. Checking out some of the comments. And as you can see, all they do is use scare tactics. You know, I said, you know, you just read a little bit of Irish wisdom and you can see how they manipulated everything. And you start asking them questions and they get all pissed off. And, you know, you wanted them to clarify certain things and they refuse to do that. And instead of actually trying to clarify your questions or answer your questions, they try to scare you into just listening to them. Now we'll take a look here at the book that Memsayah Sharal shared with us. Got some of it here. I'll read a little bit of it. That's enough for years. Like, our story has been written in the stars, even before, you know, I even knew about exoteric and esoteric information. Most High had me say that a couple times in videos from years ago. You know, did videos about that, and you get attacked because they'll find one verse. You know, they'll find one verse in the Bible that, you know, kind of goes against the stars, and that's it. You know, if the Bible says one thing about it, and that's it. You know, it's a typical. It's a typical, you know, tactic of trying to control what you're doing, what you're reading, and what you're looking at. Yes, the Lion's Gate is opening for the Most High's children. Yes. I'm going to read a little bit here for the Mazaroth. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou bring forth Mazaroth in his season? Or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? That'll be from Job 38, 31 through 33. Now, that's pretty amazing considering the fact that that's in the book of Job. What does that mean to you? If this is written about in the book of Job, he's talking about these, you know, celestial things in the book of Job. What is that? What I mean, did that mean that they must have had a lot of really deep understanding all the way back then? So who are these people today to be telling you what you can and can't look at as far as what's in the stars? How is it that Job did talk about this in the book of Job, but now you got a Catholic church, you got Christian churches telling you this stuff is all evil? I mean, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So again, I'll read that again. The Mazzaroth. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season? Or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? Job 38, 31 through 33. Yep, the preachers read Job all the time and conveniently miss that, right? Exactly. Here's another one from, says, the heavens declare the glory of God. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Psalms 19, 1 through 3. That would be Psalms 19, verses 1 through 3. And then we got another one here. Let's see here from Job again. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens. His hands hath formed the crooked serpent. Job 26, verse 13. So like I said, there's a whole lot more going on here. It says, note, these depictions of the 48 ancient constellations may not appear as one is accustomed to seeing them in modern representations. This is because every effort has been made to restore the oldest record constellation shapes. Okay. So we'll continue with some more of these. So I just got this today. I got to do some more, spend some more time reading it and checking it out. But I'm sure, hey, I'm sure all you guys, ladies, could put some more information out here for the family. You've already seen this information. You're really, you're accustomed to it. Please share. Please share. Next one here, what is the significance of there being 12 primary constellations or 12 star families? Let's go to page 183. So, we're part of the whole 12 star families, coming from the 12 different constellations. I got the book off of eBay. So right here it says, what is the significance of there being 12 primary constellations or 12 star families? In Scripture, the number 12 is a symbol of faith, the church, and the kingdom of God. It is one of the most spiritually significant of all the numbers found in the Bible. The Old Testament book of Genesis states there are 12 sons of Jacob, and the 12 sons form the 12 tribes of Israel. The New Testament tells us the Messiah had 12 apostles. There are also 12 gates and 12 foundation stones in the New Jerusalem. The 12 sons of Jacob became the 12 tribes of Israel, which were represented by 12 tribal ensigns depicted on the tribal flag, Numbers 2 and 2. And 12 precious stones. One gemstone for each tribe was placed upon the high priest's breastplate, Exodus 28:21. Each of the 12 primary constellations represents a tribe of Israel, totaling 12 tribes altogether. The tribal ensigns for each of the 12 tribes, which appear on their tribal flag, were taken from Jacob's prophecy to his sons. Note regarding the tribe of Dan, Dan fell into idolatry in Judges 17 and 18 and was thus removed from the tribes. This is why the tribe of Dan is replaced with Manasseh, a son of Joseph. In the list of Revelation 7, the following list is a list of 12 tribes of Israel, their ensigns, and the constellation which represents them. So we got the constellations that are representing them as well. Let's see here, right there. So you guys can go that way. So for all these people that keep on saying, you know, don't look at the stars, you know, all you're doing is that's all church doctrine. When our story has been written in the stars. No, this information is not from me. This is from Memsa Yasharel. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Wanted to make sure we did a video and we brought some of this information out. I was just kind of waiting for the book to get here. Daniel studies the stars, exactly. This is our heritage. Again, you know, they try to take our heritage and give it to someone else. So it's always trying to take our information and give it to someone else. Here we go, right here. This is a good one right here. Symbols of the 12 tribes of Israel. Ensigns, gemstones, and constellations. I'll try to do top half. So this is all the devil, huh? The devil set up the signs in the heavens. The devil set up the 12 constellations. The devil set up, you know, our history in the stars. The devil did all that, right? And if you look at that kind of stuff, you're going to hell. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just shows you that instead of proving the information wrong, all they do is try to scare you and to not looking at it. And they've done a wonderful job keeping people scared and keeping people out of a lot of this information. So they're trying to give the devil all this credit. I don't know where was the devil at to create all these different these things in the sky. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea where the devil was and able to set up all these things in the sky and to give us all this understanding. That's why they said a lot of these people have to be very careful, because it's very difficult for them now to go back and say anything. It's very difficult for them to go back and say anything because they've been attacking, any new information. But then they don't have any proof besides fear that the information is what they say it is. Exactly. The devil was created by the Most High. The devil cannot create. Exactly. So if the devil can't create, then you can't be giving the devil credit for, the planets, the stars, the constellations, all this information. What the devil created was he set up these books. He got certain information, manipulated it, and sent his information out worldwide. That's what the devil created. The devil created confusion. The devil is definitely the great deceiver. And that's why now that the Most High is giving us back our understanding, giving us back our heritage, now there's no wiggle room for them. There's nowhere for them to go. That's why, they have to, they got to come up with bigger distractions. The devil definitely author of confusion, exactly. And that's why Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan, so China got punked. So what's it gonna? So now they're surrounding Taiwan. I'm like, okay, well, are they gonna do something? You know what I'm saying? Wake me when you do something. Wake me when something's going on. But see, they've been able to do that because there was no alternative. Forever, there was no alternative. They were able to say, well, they're still able to say, which is hilarious, because one of the family members sent me a video, and it was the Pope talking about, I don't know, some breakdown that he was going through today of trying to break some church doctrine down or whatever else. And I'm like, so last week you're going to Canada and you're, admitting to the fact that you've been raping, robbing, murdering, killing children, people, stealing kids from their homes, destroying families, everything else. You just got to say, I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden now this week, you get to have some big, huge debate. I said, based off of what? What criteria is there that you have that kind of power? What is it that, you have not proven that you guys have any moral authority whatsoever? But last week you were, talking about how horrible your churches have been, Catholic and Christian alike, and this week you're on top of the world trying to break down church doctrine. And people are stupid enough to sit here and just listen to them, not hold their feet to the fire. I wish I could just say I'm sorry for something and then it just be gone and never have to think about it again. And I got billions of people that'll listen to me. And billions of people that'll just take orders and, go to you every single week wanting you to, forgive them of their sins and show them how to get to heaven and everything else. Oh, good. I'm glad Gloria Shields. We had to start doing that, just, emailing each other, texting each other. Because like I said, if you're not getting notifications, we already understand what's going on. It just doesn't make sense that we got all these people. I'm listening to Paul talking about knowing for sure that, doing the sinner's prayer and knowing for sure that you can make it into heaven. And I'm like, you guys don't even know who we are. How is it possible that you don't even know who the real so-called Israelites are? You're using words like black to describe us and African Americans to describe a people that you have enslaved and that prophecy is revolving around, and you don't even know who they are. So if you don't even know who the main people are in the Bible, how is it that you are so sure that if people say your sinner's prayer, that if they die tonight, they're going to go to heaven? How can you have that kind of, of assuredness? How can you be like so sure that if you say this sinner's prayer and you accept Jesus into your heart, that you're 100% going to heaven, but you can't even figure out who we are as a people? You can't even figure out how we fit in the prophecies. How is that even possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing, because they want to be so sure that what they're saying is true, and just because you say it day after day after day after day doesn't make it true. Just because if you say this prayer, know for surety that you're going to go to heaven if you die tonight. You don't think that the rich man probably was told that by his pastor? You don't think the rich man was probably told that? I mean, he had all the money. I'm sure he went to church because they had that big processions for him and everything else. Sure, he probably gave money to the church and everything else. I'm sure someone told him, hey, know for surety, if you do this, you're going to make it to heaven. If you do that, you're going to make it to heaven. I'm sure the rich man was told the same thing. And I'm sure that the vast majority of the people looked at Lazarus and they're like, oh man, he must have done something wrong. He must have done something wrong. Oh, he's not going to make it to heaven because, he's gone through so much here that he must have done something to deserve to go through all the things he's going through here. But the rich man, he's been so blessed. So I'm sure that he's going to make it into heaven. He's going to have heaven here, and he's going to have heaven after he dies. But see, when he passed away, there was that big surprise. All that assuredness, went out the window. Because, when you live your life thinking that this exoteric life is all that there is, and that, this crude matter and all the stuff that we do here is all that there is, and that what we're doing right now is the only thing that's going to dictate, our standing in the spirit world, that just shows you that the devil has got you. It says we are eternal spiritual beings. The Most High knew us before we got here. So therefore, if he knew us before we got here, then we already had a relationship before we got here. So to think that the only way that you can, do the will of the Most High is through what the church tells you, I said, you're fooling yourself. We are spiritual beings, eternal beings. We come here we have missions, and the Most High, has set us up, has given us the tools to complete our missions. A lot of us are marked. I've seen these marks. I look at it like this letter M on your hand. I'm sure many of you guys already have it. If you guys have seen it, I always look at it as an M for mine. Like the Most High has already marked us before we even got here. And many of us have these markings already on us. The Most High has already told us that we are his. And we have these markings. You know, I've seen this one, I've had this one, well, of course, my whole life. I'm sure many of you guys have seen them before. You have them on you as well. So I've seen many that don't have it. Yep, I have mine on both hands as well. But the Most High has marked us. So like I said, the Most High has marked us, and that's why we've gone through all these different events in our lives to prepare us for today. Yeah, the Most High marks us different ways, right? And we've been marked, and we've been set up, you know, to do whatever it is our mission the Most High has for us. But yeah, it's just funny listening to these other nations and them trying to break these things down, you know, and they're exposed. Like I said, you know, they're exposed. You know, I know some people look at a lot of the information, and they all look at it. I mean, you know, look at the Bible esoterically only. You know, it's all allegorical. You know, I mean, and like I said, everybody's entitled to look at it however they feel. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily see it like that. I said, but everyone's entitled to look at it however the Most High gives it to them. You know, I believe there's a lot of things that can be looked at exoterically and esoterically. There's a lot of allegories. There's a lot of hidden messages. You know, and the thing is with the Bible, like I said, that's only part of the story. You know, I said there's other books too. There's books of Enoch, multiple books of Enoch. There's books of, you know, Baruch. There's all these different books, you know, Testament of the 12. I said there's all these different books that can be looked at from different points of view. But you understand that the other nations only have it from one. They can only see it from an exoteric point of view, and that's it. And they have to try to make this world and these events fit their exoteric breakdown. Jasher, They're forced to try to fit everything, you know, in an exoteric understanding. And that's why you see like them trying to force these events to fulfill prophecy. I feel that for me, like I said, the esoteric understanding has blown the lid off of the other nations. The esoteric understanding has blown the lid off of the other nations. Because as long as we were stuck only thinking on an exoteric level, they were able to, you know, try to manipulate events. Now when you understand that there's a whole nother level of fulfillment of prophecy going on that these people have nothing to do with, now, you know, you can easily see how they tried to manipulate events. You can see how their manipulation is not working. you can see how they've tried their best to keep us from looking at the stars. They've tried to keep us from looking at our heritage. All that is now has been exposed. I like that one. Stone's gonna make one about esoteric next week. That's funny. Well, the vast majority, doesn't matter if if they call themselves Hebrews, doesn't matter if whatever they call themselves, Christians, Catholics, whatever else, they're gonna be talking about the same things over and over again. They can't talk about the stars now because they painted themselves into a corner. They can't talk about esoteric things because they've painted themselves into a corner. Now they're stuck only talking about exoteric things with an exoteric understanding, and they're stuck looking at Gentiles trying to force feed their breakdowns onto people. Like, I don't need to force feed my beliefs or my thoughts on someone else. I said, because maybe the Most High has given me something that was for me, and it wasn't necessarily for you at that time. Maybe he gave something that was for you that wasn't for me at that time. But see, when you're in the exoteric realm, everyone has to have the same, they have to agree on everything. But the esoteric understanding is so abstract that it can be given, it can be set up for this individual person or that individual person. Or maybe this person is not ready for this yet. So maybe they need to wait until the Most High is ready to give it to them. Exactly, Minister Yasharel, exactly. Which is the reason why they've had to create prophecy to make it work in the past. In the past, when we lacked knowledge, everything was all good. Now, they are no more, exactly. See, before, when it was only exoteric understanding, they could get away with that because we didn't know any better. Now that the Most High has given us back the esoteric understanding, now we can see their esoteric breakdowns, and we can see way deeper than that. We can see, we can really see how they're trying their best to keep us away from the esoteric understanding. I'm sorry you didn't get that notification, Miss Ebby. It gets frustrating sometimes, doesn't it? And that was the main thing, not listening to their lies anymore. Seeing past the smoke and mirrors, exactly. And I've been looking at a lot of like these history channels, talking to my boy, Brother the 12, and we've been talking about, like a lot of these things about aliens, Enki and Enlil, things like that, how much more advanced the people were before the flood. There was I'll have to put up the video. It's like a little 5-minute clip, but it's talking about Palenque and how they made this discovery. And the discovery, it looked like was one of the Aborigines was flying through the stars. It was flying, was flying like a spaceship through the stars. And these would be a lot of the things that they've been wanting to hide, because like I said, it doesn't fit their exoteric breakdowns. When you understand, like I said, that we're star seeds, we're star children. I said we're much more than the crude matter you see here. Then when you start understanding more with the exoteric, you understand that, hey, there's many things that we don't understand. No, they can't. You can't understand this language of the Spirit unless the Most High gives it to you. Ancient aliens, But see, the ones who are stuck in exoteric will say those are all demons. Just checking out some of the information here, some of the comments. Go do research about good angels and bad angels. Good and bad is relative. You know what I'm saying? Good and bad is going to be different depending on the person who's the perspective you're looking at. Forever, we were taught that the churches were good. Are the churches good? Have these churches been good? They're still portrayed as being, good places to go and places for you to find God and everything else. But these churches have been, instrumental in the death and destruction of our people. So, like I said, you can't sit there and say things like, well, what's a good angel? What's a bad angel? Well, according to, I said, what's a good church and what's a bad church? You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole thing. These churches are nothing but full of lies. They've done nothing good. But people still go to them and ask for them to, to lead them to heaven, to lead them to eternity, when they have no fruits, to put forth to show that they could do that. They say black is bad, exactly. They say our skin color, is bad, is evil. You see what I'm saying? So you can't, don't try it. That's something that you get. Those are kind of simple questions that you get from people who go to church. Those are the kind of things you get who people want to oversimplify things. Like I said, I mean, forever, these churches have been the ones trying to tell us how to live. Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. If you do this, you're going to go to hell. I'm like, please. I say, who the hell are you? Guys don't even follow any of the laws. You don't follow any of the statutes. You don't follow any of the commandments. But you're going to tell us what we need to do. Get the hell out of here. Because you guys were never about following the laws. You were never about doing good. You're never about doing the will of the Most High. But according to the world, you're going to be portrayed as something good. That's what I said. You got to do your own research, and you got to be willing to, you know, you might have to twist because everything that you've been taught is a lie. Right, Jonita F. I was talking to you because I know you're the one who was asking about that. But you got, you know, you have to be willing to, you know, to realize that everything you've been taught is a lie. Yep, you have to empty your cup. And if you look at these churches, you look at these people with exoteric understanding, they haven't emptied their cup for anything. In fact, they think that they know everything. The ones who have the exoteric understanding, these Hebrews that, you know, say that they're in the truth, but all they do is follow the same thing that the churches have taught. I said they're no different. I said, so what have they? How have they emptied their cup? They haven't emptied their cup. They still teach exactly the same thing. Nope, didn't see anything about Iran bombing Israel. Didn't see anything about that. I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, remember now, like I said, these guys in these churches are, oh, you know, that's witchcraft. That's this, that's that. How did you empty your cup then? Where did you get the idea that all this esoteric information is witchcraft? Oh, you got it from the church. Oh, okay. That you just pretty much bring in church doctrine over here. Okay. But, oh, just believe in Jesus. And you're going to be saved. Exactly. Right? Like I said, you gotta be willing to, you know, let everything go, and be willing to learn everything again, everything new, and let the Spirit teach you. Exactly. How does the church know? How does these fake churches who lied about everything know anything? And like I said, that just exposed them even more. Once they've done that, once they start to do that, and that's how the Most High exposed them, by letting them think that they were, you know, that they're the only ones that have the answers. Exposing themselves as if they're the only ones that have the answers. And that if you want to make it to heaven, you got to listen to them. You have to follow the Spirit, exactly. I know plenty of people that say they're in this truth, and all they are is just a church. They're just nothing new. They just traded in, you know, the church, going into the church for, you know, the white man's church or whatever else, and they just all call it a Hebrew church. That's all that it is. But it's still just a church. The true church is just a called out group of people. People that are called out from all the BS. Called out from the exoteric breakdowns. Called out from the only exoteric understanding. Exactly. Same regurgitated garbage. A church for a church. That's all that it is. Exactly. All right, family, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. It was great hanging out with you this evening. So hope everyone had an opportunity to come together, spend time together, go over some of this information, be able to, just be able to easily understand and be able to pick out when you start seeing people with their exoteric breakdowns trying to tell you about your esoteric understanding. Now you understand that they cannot break down your esoteric understanding only using exoteric breakdowns. Now that we understand that, it's easy to spot, easy to see. I'm like, hold on, bro. You said you don't read any of these books, you don't look at any of this information, but you're going to tell me that it's evil? You don't read any of this information, you don't understand it, but you're going to tell me that I'm going to hell? I said, that just shows you that, you're trying to use, they're trying to use their little baby key, okay, to open up this huge world, this huge mansion of information. So they're not gonna be able to. I said, because this is big boy information. This is big boy and big girl information over here. So if you're still stuck, playing romper room, I says, then stick with the romper room. Stick over there. Stay over there. Keep doing that. Okay? But don't be trying to come over here telling us what we're doing is wrong when you are stuck on an exoteric only level. The Most High, like I said, I love the Father. I love how He exposes people. I love how He lets them talk, lets them run their mouths, lets them think that they did something, and then all of a sudden the Most High just smashes them. And that's exactly what He's done. So you say, you thought you knew something. Oh, you had the exoteric understanding. You had the books that your enemies, have manipulated and hidden and manipulated in order to keep you, only here on this playground. And you thought you knew something. Well, now I'm going to give the rest of my children the rest of these books, and now you're going to be stuck on that one over there in that one little itty bitty playground. You'll be stuck over in that little itty bitty playground, and that's where you're going to stay. And that's how we easily all get stuck. Okay? Because I got much love for all the brothers and sisters who are chasing after the Most High, who are chasing after the Most High, on their own paths. Everyone is on their own path. I'm not in any position to be telling someone that this is the path you need to follow. This is the path that you have to follow. I said, because we all have our own paths. There are certain things that, this stuff is way over my head. I understand that. I don't have to know everything. Okay? That's not, but see, a lot of people are too proud to admit that. You see what I'm saying? So, and because I have no problem admitting that. Whatever it is the Most High wants me to do, whatever He wants me to give me understanding for, that's a beautiful thing. But this is that whole, you want to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ? You want to have that? That's what the churches have been trying their best to push, but they never had that opportunity. This is that personal relationship. This is that personal relationship that each of us has. And we all must follow our own path. And this is a beautiful part of it because, like I said, it's the Most High is eternal. The Most High is allowing us to, He's calling us all home. He's calling us all home on our own paths. And it's a beautiful thing to see. I don't have to agree with everyone else's opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. That's something I've always told people. Don't have to agree with what I say. If you don't agree, cool. I can still love you. You can still do you. I can still do me. We don't have to agree. Okay? Because maybe that's not the path the Most High has put me on. But I will still respect you as a brother, and I will still respect you as a sister, even though we don't necessarily agree. But I will not regress and go back to exoteric only understanding or let someone who only has a base level understanding. I said, I will not go to that. I will never do that. I said, because, you know, that's something that's how they controlled our people for these last few hundred years. Sometimes you got to take a break. Sometimes you got to just kind of put the books down and put the information down and just let the Most High, you know, have his way. Sometimes certain things are not, there are certain books I will not get into because I'm not ready for it. There's certain things that I will not bring out because I don't understand it, and I'm not going to bring it out because I don't even understand it. Okay? I said, so like I said, I got much love for all of my brothers and sisters. I said, I love all of you. You know, I said, we're all taking our journeys. You know, we're all going however it is the Most High leads us. We got these angels here that are guiding us, as they're used to guide us on the path that the Father wants us on. And we're all going to get to wherever it is the Most High wants us to get to. But all praise is the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom, family.